Hello, everybody. Captain Marty here. Happy Friday. Happy windy, stormy, cool Friday. That will be the subject of our fishing report today. I don't have a whole lot to talk to you about, but I will share with you what I do know, and I'll be back to do that in just a moment.
When it comes to finding phenomenal seafood, you gotta go insane. That's right, stop into the Insane Seafood Market right there on Highway 64 in Columbia. Luke Midget and his crew work hard out on the water to make sure you have the freshest selection of seafood around. They provide a wide selection of fish, crabs, shrimp, oysters, and clams, just to name a few. Insane Seafood has a hot bar to satisfy that seafood craving right on the spot. Visit them online at insaneseafood.com and like them on social media. Go insane at Insane Seafood Market, Highway 64 in Columbia.
Red Drum Tackle in Buxton is the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras. And being the closest tackle shop to Cape Point, Red Drum Tackle has been welcoming fishermen to Hatteras Island with a wide selection of bait and tackle, skilled custom rod builds, rod and reel repair, expert knowledge and information since 1974. Red Drum Tackle knows how, when, and where to fish. To acquire this fishing brain power, visit them online at reddrumtackle.com. Red Drum Tackle, the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras and the closest to Cape Point in Buxton.
Well, we're seeing a big wind blowing on the Outer Banks, and we haven't had the offshore fleet out in a few days. Probably not going to see it back out for a few days. Kind of typical for the middle of November. I can't believe it's already the 15th of November. Before the blow, I just would have to say this. The offshore fishing has been a little bit on the slow side for yellowfin tuna. That's typically, this should be like prime yellowfin tuna. They're the bigger ones. Not the biggest, but they're bigger than the blackfins, which we are catching. Very good to eat. A lot of fun to catch, and there's been good numbers of blackfin tuna in all of our three fleets, Ocracoke, Hatteras, and Oregon Inlet. But not seeing many of the yellowfins, and I could not tell you why. I'm not sure what the migration has done differently this year, but we have seen other examples of strange fish being in strange places at strange times, and other fish that we really count on not being here at all. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast right now. But we had good blackfin tuna fishing, good mahi or dolphin fishing, although they were almost exclusively the bailers, the 5, 6, 7, 8 pounders. And we were getting into a pretty good bite on king mackerels, especially for the live baiters down off Hatteras. So that was what was biting, and I really feel comfortable that they'll still be biting after the blow is over with. And who knows, maybe this wind, this east wind will push some fish in from offshore, and maybe we'll get a little better yellowfin tuna bite. We'll have to wait and see. As far as what's going on the surf and piers, what's going on is a big sea, a lot of wind, some cool temperatures, which has really whittled down the number of people fishing, especially today. Of course, it's just not a good day to go fishing, but also seawater temperatures are down around 56 degrees in some places, and that's getting really cool. So things are going to start tapering off, I think, for the surf and the pier, normal for this time of year. We'll just have to see what happens with all of that. But there was still a few big drum around, a few puppy drums, some bluefish, and as I mentioned, some sea mullet in the catches, and there's a few other things. But it's getting a little bit scrappier, and when it blows like this, it'll take a while. There's no way you can hold bottom even on the shoulders of the storm. You know, it just gets really hard to hold bottom if you're trying to fish off the beach. So we'll keep you posted, let you know what happens. Won't waste airtime talking any more about that. We will take a little break right here, and I'll come back and talk to you about the backcountry.
Ahoy there, folks. Captain Edward Lee here, and I want to invite you aboard the Miss Oregon Inlet 2. She's a modern 60-foot headboat outfitted with the latest top-quality safety and fishing equipment. We make 3 trips per day out of the world-famous Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. Visit MissOregonInlet.com or call us today at 252-251-4314. So ditch the beach for a bit and set sail with the Miss Oregon Inlet 2.
As we roll into the weekend, not a day to be out on the open waters, and that includes the Pamlico Sound, maybe especially the Pamlico Sound. Maybe you can find a lee somewhere and fish off the shore, and there's plenty of opportunities to do stuff like that. Up a estuary or creek for some inland bridges. I mean, you can always find somewhere to fish, but I would not recommend being out in a boat on the Pamlico or any other sound today. So just, like Captain Mommy Till always said, even the fish need a day off too. We were having a pretty good speckled trout bite and a few bluefish and puppy drum in the catches, a scattered black drum as well. I mean, we've had that for a month and a half or more, although I'm seeing everything working to the west. I did notice that along the Stumpy Point Highway, the fishing in around the bridges and in those creeks like at Long Shoal and Deep Creek and all up through there and then on to Englehart and Swan Quarter over that way, we're seeing more activity. And I do understand that the trout bite seems to be moving west over to our friend and sponsor Ricky Radcliffe at Radcliffe Marine in Bellhaven. They're getting over there in his neck of the woods right now. So that's what's going on with that. It also is a rare time of year when we have all three of our major big game season in open. Right now we have the whitetail deer, the black bear season. We're in the first week of a 2-week season. Then it will close and open back up again in December for a second 2-week season. And of course, one of our duck seasons is in right now, and I can't keep track of all that. Saw something kind of peculiar walking to my deer stand yesterday. I was walking down a farm path and I looked over in a ditch and there was 6 Canada geese decoys that someone had painted white, and there was a folding stool and it looked like it had been in that farm ditch for a couple years. I left them. Hopefully they belong to some local kid, youth or something, but whoever it is, it was a little bit surprising to see that. So we have great swan hunting, and I think that season is open. My house is actually right underneath the Mid-Atlantic Flyway for a lot of the waterfowl. I live really close to Lake Mattamuskeet, so one of my favorite things to do in the evening is to sit out there, especially when the swans come over, and you can talk to them. And I don't mean like I'm talking to you, but they don't honk. I don't know what you call a Canada goose honks. But anyway, their call is beautiful. And when they come over, my granddaughter and I, we sit on the back porch and hoot at them. Let's call it a hoot. And they'd hoot back at us as they head over to the lake. A lot of times they'd go over to the lake and spend the night on the lake and then come back and be in the fields during the daytime. So it's really, if you've never been to Lake Mattamuskeet, it's the largest lake in North Carolina. And it's only about 3 feet deep at its deepest point. But it is a natural lake, and the story about that lake and how it was once pumped dry and farmed is totally fascinating. But there's a nice Mattamuskeet Wildlife Refuge over on the south side. There's a visitor center and a small museum and a great day trip from the beaches. If it's blowing too hard to do anything on the beach, here's my suggestion. Leave the beach, go over and drive over to Englehart would be the way to go on Highway 264. Come out of Mans Harbor and you turn on Highway 264 where it splits. Come over to Englehart, spend the day, drive up across the lake on the causeway, stop in and eat some lunch maybe in Fairfield, then head north on 98 and you head straight up north to Columbia. It's about a 40-minute drive. You get to Columbia, you get on 64 east, and it'll take you right back to Mans Harbor. It's a great round trip, a lot of things to see, and a lot of wilderness. Once you see all that wilderness, you'll understand what happened to the Lost Colony, because my theory is they were on Roanoke Island, high and dry, living the good life, and they said, well, if it's this good here, probably be even better if we go west. And they crossed the Sound, and they went off into the swamp, and that is as thick a place as you'd ever want to be in your life. So one day I'm probably going to find them out there while I'm deer hunting. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, be careful, stay safe. God bless. That's my report for you on this Friday.